them on stage. Dr. Jekamanti is just joining in. Mr. Shantanu Kumar Nanda. So Mr. Shantanu Kumar Nanda is about to read. So when he comes, we'll of course be extending a warm welcome to him. But as is the traditional practice, we would at least like to welcome all our esteemed dignitaries who are already here with us for the panel. So I'll first request HRAO member, Mr. Jayant Kumar Panda. Mr. Jayant Kumar Panda to please come on dais and welcome Joint Secretary Tourism, Government of Odisha, Shri Binod Jena. I'll request all the HRAO members who are supposed to come for the welcome to please come close to the stage. There's always a little teething issues that happens when a session starts right after the inaugural ceremony. So, Mr. Jayant Panda welcoming Joint Secretary Tourism, Government of Odisha, Shri Binod Jena. Dr. J.K. Mahanti has also joined in. I'll request him to join on stage. I'll request Mr. Uma Shankar Panigrahi to welcome Shri Vishal Vithal Kamath. Okay, that was with the Uttariya and the planter for Shri Binod Jena. And now I'll request Member HRAO, Shri Uma Shankar Panigrahi to welcome Shri Vishal Vithal Kamath, Executive Director, Kamath Hotels India Limited. I'll request Mr. Prabhudatta Subudhi, HRAO member, to welcome now Shri Anup Bali, CMD, TFCI, New Delhi. Mr. Prabhudatta Subudhi. I'll request Mr. K. Mohanan, HRAO member, to welcome Dr. J.K. Mohanty, Chairman, HRAO. I'll request Mr. Raj Kishore Patra to welcome. I'll request the HRAO members, please, those who are for the technical session, I'll request them to be please here close to the stage. We would like to start with the session. So, mu अनुरोध करिबे हमर HRAO members जो माने स्वागत करिबे तांको अनुरोध करिबे आसीबा पे. We already have all right, we would like to welcome Mr. Shantanu Kumar Nanda, AGM SIDBI Bhubaneswar. He's joined us for the session. Thank you so much. So, can we have Mr. Prabhudatta Subudhi or Mr. K. Mohanan or Mr. Raj Kishore Patra, anybody here? I'll request them to please step forward. If not, then I'll request any other HRAO member. For example, do we have Mr. Prashant Jena? Yes, Mr. Prashant Jena, if you could please join us on stage. And yes, and welcome all our dignitaries on dais. I'll request you to welcome everyone. Yes. I'll then request, of course, after that, I'll request Mr. Gupta to take the session forward. As you know, we have, again, a time constraint, so I'll request the moderator to stick to the time and so that we can complete all the sessions on time. Thank you. I'll now request Mr. Gupta to take the session forward. Thank you so much, and apologies for the little delay in the welcome.
Namaste everyone. Once again, thank you, Chairman Mohanty, HRAO, for getting us all together, for having a discussion on how Odisha can reclaim its rightful spot in Indian tourism. As we discussed earlier, Odisha has just less than 0.4 and 0.2% share of both Indian inbound and domestic. So obviously, if Odisha has to get a significant growth in tourism, the most important thing is to increase, number one, the share of visitors and also the share of hospitality rooms. Now, how are we going to go about doing it? Chairman Mohanty had presented a very elaborate wish list. And I think we shall, during our session, try and identify what could be certain steps to doing that, which the HRAO can submit for your recommendations to take them forward. We'll be very honored to have Mr. Jena to make a presentation. I believe you are making a presentation. Please, thank you very much.
Presentation ta lagai niki. Lagai ni. Aji dei thila na. It's with you or not?
ସେଟା ଆପଣ ନାଟା ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଉପରଟା
हाँ यस यस फुल कर दियो फुल फुल आसियो ठीक नेक्स्ट कौन अच्छे देखिए नेक्स्ट कौन थी नेक्स्ट चलो अरे क्वाटा कर पड़े जाओ जी कहेंगे फर्स्ट लाइव फर्स्ट ना देखेगा इसके बाद देखो हाँ ओके हेलो very good morning to all of you Mr. Chairman and your friends on the dais and tourism partners from across the state and from other states. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, I have been introduced. I am Vinod, Joint Secretary, Tourism Department, Government of Odisha. From the very outset, let me first express my gratitude to HRAO for being invited me to this program. On behalf of department also, I express a big thank to the organizers. My responsibility would be here to answer some of the questions that you are asking to Director Madam. Apart from that, first let me explain the vision plan for tourism development by Tourism Department, State Government of Odisha. Our vision is to, like any other state, like any other countries, our vision is certainly to position our state nationally or globally in the tourism map. Yes, it includes increasing the volume or the tourist presence in the state. Number of tourists could be increased by strategic planning. Now I will explain you what the government of Odisha is doing or planning to do it in the next 10 to 15 years. So our vision is divided into three parts. If I see our vision will be first to stick to 2029, because the present government's the 5-year completes in 2029, so we have to achieve certain milestones out of our larger vision. And then our 2036 vision plans and 47 vision plans. I will explain you one by one. Friends, as you were questioning and worried about why tourism is not have its importance in Odisha tourism is not having its importance globally. So because of certain challenges we have been facing for so many years, you must agree with me. And the number one is, to me, it's a lack of a holistic focus or approach. Till now, it's not that Odisha is not working on tourism development for so many years. It's not like that. But the issue is, we have been focusing on certain products, certain aspects. That's also not our weakness. Because we know USP has been spiritualism. So we have been focusing on spiritual tourism, where there is temple, because we are known for temples, we are known for our history and cultural tradition. So we have been giving importance on those kinds of tourism. And we have also benefited from those kind of initiatives. Not that we have not been benefited, but still, that has led us to somewhere we have missed focusing on diversified tourism products. Like what is happening in the coastal districts, we must also think of something for the western districts. So diversification of our tourism products is the need of the hour, need of the time. And what we are doing as a department, that I will tell you. I think the second important issue that we have been facing is our regulatory bottlenecks. Yes, there has been privatization, there has been liberalized policies being followed in this country, but still, there are certain principles, policies, regulations, which cripples our initiatives, or which at least delays our proactive initiatives. Maybe public investment, maybe private investment. So we have to think how to further liberalize or simplify the regulatory requirements through facilitation, through simplification, so that investors like you can come forward to invest and think of to do something for the state. So that will be part of my vision plan, how we are planning to reduce those bottlenecks. And the number 3 is lack of or limited infrastructure. Obviously, when you don't have your strategic planning, if you have a regulatory bottlenecks, certainly private investment or corporate investment won't come. So you will face issues with infrastructure. And the 4th one is, must be limited end-to-end premium offerings. As a state, as a department, as a sector, what are we really offering for our tourists, those who are coming from different parts of the states or different states or from other countries or for the foreign tourists? What are we really offering? Are we really serious? Because to me, when somebody lands here, he must feel, yes, here there is something called tourism, or here there is something called tourism offerings, service, security, sanitation. Many things are there. We have not focused on those aspects. So our vision plan will certainly encompass all those requirements. The moment I will go to our plan, you must be understood कि अरे है ठीक है, यही है vision plan का part. And the last one is competition. It's good. Competition will help us to go or to think of something more than what we are really doing right now. And yes, fittest must be the survival. And we have to compete. But for that, you cannot say that an ant can compete with an elephant. For that, we need to give them the support that they require so that they can stand and at least think to compete. So that has been part of our policy initiatives or our vision plan that I am going to tell you. So our vision is therefore to position Odisha or to become a world-class tourism destination. So because we have vibrant culture, we have stunning natural beauty, we have rich heritage, what not in the state? Untapped resources, huge untapped resources, huge untapped potentialities. But we have not focused through our policies to cater all those potentialities, to exploit those potentialities, and to translate into realities for tourism development. So our vision is therefore tap those potentialities or have or position Odisha globally and nationally. That is our vision plan is first to shift to some extent, not totally. We are giving focus on still spiritual tourism. We cannot leave that. But now we are shifting towards diversification of other tourism products. We want to have some destinations in Asia, at least to make Odisha, to list Odisha in the top 5 rated destinations in Asia for ecotourism and cultural tourism. Why we are shifting for ecotourism and cultural tourism? You know, nowadays there is a SDG, the Sustainable Development Goals. That also sometimes tells us, compels us to think something responsibly. Try to have products which are responsible, which are eco-friendly or environment-friendly. That's why you have to shift towards ecotourism and cultural tourism, which are really sustainable. And our vision is to find Odisha in the top 5 rated destinations so far as ecotourism and cultural tourism is concerned. For that, what we are going to do, everything is there in the vision plan. that we are going to pursue scrupulously, follow scrupulously through different committees, councils, and MDOs, so that we can achieve what actually we are planning to do. And now see, if your focus is, if the tourism department's focus is, or Odisha's focus is for ecotourism and cultural tourism, to achieve that goal, we have identified 15 destinations across the state, 15 destinations having huge potentiality either for ecotourism or for your cultural tourism. So every destinations will be given in charge of one agency or consultants, organizations of national and international repute. They will go for master planning, and each destination will have its own USP. If one destination is known for ecotourism, people will prefer to go to that place. And you have to have your master plan to develop product in such a manner so that people will love to come there, will be bound to come over there. So in that way, 15 destinations have been identified and master plan is being prepared now. We have started engaging agencies. Hirakud, as madam was telling, Hirakud is one of them. Kolab, Devmali, Chilika, your Satkosia, Simlipal, your Satpada, your Bhitarkanika. So 15 such destinations have been identified. And the target is to increase our accommodation facilities through increasing the star category hotel room inventory. Today we have around 3,000 to 4,000 keys, 3-star, 4-star or 5-star. So our target is to increase this inventory to 25,000 by 47. And by 2036, we must achieve the target of 15,000 keys. It's not that we'll wait till 2036. For every year we have to achieve the target, like 1,000 or 1,500 keys. For that, Department of Tourism is revisiting the tourism policy of the state. Yes, we have one ambitious tourism policy in the state in comparison to other states, so far as the land allotment or any incentive, financial or non-financial incentives are concerned. But still, after discussions with the HRAO and many other stakeholders, we are revisiting, we are thinking how better or how best policy initiative we can come up with so that our investors can get best possible incentives. So target is to increase the number of hotel keys, quality hotel keys, and for that, 100% accreditation and training service will be available. We'll do that. Restaurants, hotels, any other institutions must be accredited, certified, registered with our tourism department, so that we'll be in touch with them. Any support that is required from our department, any policy interventions is required, concurrently we'll also pursue that policy. So the missing link has to go. There has to be a bridge. There has to be a collaborative approach. That's why I said it in my initial address, ki you are our development partners. Now see, as Sir was telling ki how to increase our footfalls. Yes, our target is to increase the number of footfalls to 5 crore. So presently it is around 1 crore, and domestic footfalls is around 95,000, and your 45,000, 50,000 foreign tourists are coming to Odisha. We have to increase that. Now see, these are the current status. Hotel, restaurant, service sector is contributing 5,000 crore to our state GDP. And in the service sector as a whole, means tourism as a service sector, if you consider, it contributes to around 7% to our state GDP. And if you take the service and product together under this sector, it contributes 13% to our state GDP. You know, service sector, without contribution of service sector, your state GDP cannot be sustained, cannot be increased. And unless there is a sustained economic growth, you cannot think of development, you cannot think of welfare. So you have to have more economic growth, and for that, sector like tourism has to contribute more. But for that, we have to create an environment so that every partners can sustain and flourish. So that is why the number of keys will be increased, tourist footfalls will be increased, that is target for 29, for 36, and for 47. Now see, what are we doing now? Destination development, I told you, national, international agencies are on board. They have started working. And you know, they are analyzing the gap, infrastructure gap, connectivity gap. What's the gap with respect to your quality of sanitation or your security arrangement? So everything is being analyzed by those agencies, then that is placing before the committee here in the state government. We are analyzing what best could be done, and accordingly we are finalizing the master plans. And of course, such a sustainability aspect will always be there. Then, if you are creating destination, you are developing master plan, fine. But what are you doing something for investment promotion? I said you policy that is being revisited. In a month or two, you will find a new tourism policy. A lot of issues are being taken care of. Incentives, particularly as per the request, we are looking into it. Not that in a bureaucratic way, but to feel that suppose we are those investors, will you invest if such kind of benefit will be given? If there is a requirement of increase that incentive pattern, then let us increase it. So proactively, we are working on this. You know, the Odisha Adventure Tourism Guideline has been issued. Huge scope is there for our investors. So maybe land-based, maybe water-based or air-based. Lot of scope are there, so you can also take advantage of our policies. Incentivization is still there. And we are going to come up with the heritage policy. Lot of pressure is there. Odisha should have its own dedicated heritage policy like Gujarat or Rajasthan. So we are working on that, how to preserve or protect our heritage. We should have that kind of a policy and clear-cut guideline with incentive or benefits, so that they will come up. Even if they have 5, 7 or 10 rooms, how can they give some benefits if they pursue or if they want to enter into this tourism business? So that is there. Now, if policy is there, you need to have a facilitation cell only for investors, not in the namesake. But whenever any investor faces any issue, should come to one single window, the true sense of the term. It's not there. It's written in the policy. Okay, fine. Now we are working how officers from different departments can pull together. And if any hotelier, any project proponent is facing an issue with regards to CRZ even, then that cell need to intervene and support them. Then only people can feel safe to invest. Okay, marketing is there. People can have their own marketing strategy, can study market, where they can invest or not. That is there, you know better than us. But so far as policy, facilitation, that is the responsibility of the state, and we are pursuing it. In the next 6 months, you will see the new policies, new incentive, new facilitation cell, everything, I think will be first of its kind in the country. But our secretary is pursuing like anything. 68 employees are going to be engaged by the next 15 days or 1 month. We are engaging HR support mechanism so that some people will be at the block level, at the state level, at the district level to help our investors. Not that always they should come to Bhubaneswar. So that cell is going to be functional in the department itself. I will lead that as cell. So I think that is going to be a huge moral boosting or support mechanism for you people on behalf of Department of Tourism. Marketing, question was being asked to Madam. Yes, we need to invest on promotion and marketing, not as secondary investment, secondary expenditure. We should not think marketing or promotion as an expenditure only. We should think this is investment and is going to give you return in the long run. As Madam was saying, people of US doesn't know actually, they do not know actually where is Odisha and how they land here for tourism purposes. Yes, that's true, Madam. So we need to have a 360-degree promotion or campaign strategy, be it in the state, be it in the district, destination, social media, or across countries. Omni-channels are being also planned. We'll take support of different agencies, and our budget planning is to increase it to 500 crore for promotion and marketing only. Because you need to invest on promotion and marketing. You cannot say that this is expenditure. No. Like we are providing study to our children. If you think this is expenditure, then gone, nothing is there. If you think this is investment on my children, certainly it's going to pay. So that is why for tourism, promotion and investment must be kept on top. Yes, you people will invest. There will be more hotels, more restaurants, physical infrastructure. But unless there is investment, which is more than, I think there must be more investment on marketing and promotion. That is why the department's vision is to increase the budget to 500 crore for promotional activities. So we are working on that. Now see, these are the destinations we have already identified and master plan is being prepared. You know, for the first time, we are vigorously pursuing to have a land bank with IRCO. You will be happy to know during the last 6 months, we have identified more than 5,000 acres of land in these 15 or 19 destinations. 100 acres of lands have been identified, not only identified. I have taken that responsibility to make it investable. Because whether the land is suitable or not, whether it is fit for investment or not, fit for lease or not. Because then IRCO will tell that Tehsildar is asking that these land are not suitable for leasing. So that is why I am getting it checked whether the land is listed in the DLC or it is listed in the jungle or forest kisam, whether there is encroachment. All these things are being checked. After that, I have identified, selected, and made investable, available land of more than 4,000 acres across these 19 destinations. That is going to be a huge help for our investors. So you are going to get land easily, and once you complete your project, we are going to a very ambitious capital investment subsidy and other non-financial investments. So I have already told, regulatory requirement cases simplify hoga. We are working on that. Then committees, cells are being formed even under the chairmanship of Chief Minister, under the chairmanship of Chief Secretary, Tourism Secretary, many councils across this, in the district level, state level. So continuously there will be follow-up, monitoring and supervision of our tourism sector, tourism projects. Thank you. If there is any question, I will take.
I thought I was listening to a master class by a professor. It was phenomenal, such detail. Can I request all of you to give a big clap to Mr. Jena? Thank you. I personally, I would have prepared maybe hundreds of consulting reports. I think this is a very elaborate one. My congratulations. I was hearing a champion once, he said, you need to run towards the most difficult problem if you want to be successful. And I think your presentation addresses so many difficult problems. The trick is in implementation, obviously. So thank you very much. Anup, you look after TFCI, which is a nodal body in tourism financing in India. two questions I have, both are linked. One, what keeping in perspective Mr. Jinnah's presentation, what do you think should be done by the state to improve the funding climate for hospitality? Considering you would have so many interactions, you would have a lot of clients here. How do you think the funding climate for hotels should improve to boost their plan, the Vision 20 and 29, 37, 46 that they have? Please.
Good afternoon to everybody. I think Odisha, I think the new plan which is coming up, and it entails development of many hotels all across the state to boost tourism as well as to boost investment. See, for any investment to happen, the state's role has to provide the basic infrastructure. It is not only the tourism department which has to provide that investment, but you need connectivity, you need highways, you need good air connectivity, which is the future for any tourism development in any state. Because if you want to have an integrated development, then people do not like to travel for more than 250 kilometers. They don't want to drive. So that air connectivity is very important if you want to go deep and set up hotels and resorts all across the state. I think the development of hotels is prima facie responsibility of the private sector. And I must salute all of those who are sitting here and have been doing business in the state for so long. I think they are the real heroes of the tourism department, of the tourism development in the state. We are only intermediaries. We only provide finance, and that is our role. So for any hotel to come up, definitely there are various requirements, like you have to have a land, a destination. End of the day, you require a capital to be put in. And most of the people have limitation in capital, and that is why there are institutions, banks, and other agencies who are providing funding. Now, funding comes at a cost, and that funding, the debt repayment can only happen once you generate that amount of revenues from the hotel. So again, that again boils down to how many people will visit. So what I saw from the data available, I think Odisha gets only 10 million tourists. And these 10 million tourists, domestic, foreign, I don't know how many of them stay in hotel also, even if 60% stays. So it is only 0.6 million tourists. And for that, we have around, 2,500 hotel rooms. Must be doing around 60% average occupancy. So the first thing is marketing, which should be the state subject to boost up the state. And then people have to invest. So availability of cheaper land in any mode. If land is expensive, then the revenues cannot happen. And then the concept have to come up. Various concepts are there. I think people have been successful. So funding is always available because the funder's role is limited. They have to provide finance where the money has to be repaid with interest. So that will always happen. But that will happen once the basic infrastructure is in place. So that's my take on the subject.
You can't have a hotel and not have a destination around it. Or you can't have a hotel without access roads. Absolutely. Or you can't have hotels without visitors coming in who want to stay in those hotels. Absolutely correct. This is pure and simple mathematics. The role of the state and the role of the private sector, and therefore the role of the intermediary. Shantanu, I want to do an extension of the same topic. SIDBI is a phenomenal national institution. And I'm very happy to see that SIDBI is also doing development financing on hospitality here. So an extension of the same question, from your experience, how is SIDBI supporting this sector? Not just hotels, maybe the ancillaries around hotels and tourism, etc. And also, From the presentation of Mr. Jinnah, what do you think, I mean, even though it was very elaborate, what do you think prima facie needs to be added to it to enhance the, as Anup was rightly saying, overall investment climate for hospitality in the state of Odisha? Please.
Basically, the hotel industry, as per a report, is growing post-COVID period at a growth of 7.51%. And it is expected to touch $10.42 billion in the year 2025. And Indian hotel industry is growing because of various reasons, just like business travels and events like weddings and various parties. State government of Odisha is also supporting the hotel entrepreneurs by different support available from the government schemes, just like providing land to the hotel industry, and also supporting them in the form of subsidy schemes also. And it is also developing the ecotourism sectors, the various travel destinations, even religious sites for the development of Odisha tourism. But as a banker, I should say about the various schemes and should be as a principal financial institutions, how we are helping the MSMEs and particularly hotels industries. In the hotel industry, generally the gestation period is very high, unlike other industries. So, in other financial institutions or banks, generally you may not find longer moratorium period, which we are providing. Up to 1.5 years, even up to 2 years also we are providing. And the repayment period we can extend up to 10 years also. And for the benefit of the hotel industry, we have recently launched a new scheme called MORE scheme. The MORE scheme actually इसमें क्या होता है, जब कोई बैंकर होता है ऑलरेडी होटल में, तो उसमें कोई रिनोवेशन का जरूरत पड़ता है या फिर कोई एक्स्ट्रा कुछ एडिशन होता है, तो उस बैंकर क्या करता है, एक्स्ट्रा सिक्योरिटी मांगता है. अगर वो सिक्योरिटी एडिक्वेट नहीं होता है तो उस टाइम में होटलियर को या एंटरप्रेन्योर को उसको प्रॉब्लम होता है उसको फाइनेंस करने में. तो रिसेंटली वी हैव लॉन्च्ड अ स्कीम कॉल्ड मोर स्कीम, और दैट स्कीम अलाउज फॉर द रिनोवेशन ऑफ द होटल्स इंक्लूडिंग परचेज ऑफ various equipments and also furniture fixtures without any additional collateral.
Oh, very good.
And that scheme can also be covered under CGTMSE scheme. And the minimum, to facilitate the budget hotels, the minimum loan size is 10 lakh. And the maximum we can give up to 5 crore. And discussion is also going on. As per the application, the upper limit may also increase. And for financing the new hotels, we may go up to 50 crore also.
Wow, okay.
And since we all know the government of India and whole world is promoting the green culture, green investment, so we are financing the solar project extensively. So hotels can also go for solar. So far as their electricity bill is concerned, it will minimize their electricity bills. And there is a government of India scheme, MSC GIFT scheme. Under this scheme, we are giving 2% interest subvention to the applicant.
Oh, it's fantastic.
So these are the SIDBI specific schemes available from government of India. The whatever rate of interest is going to be charged to you as per the rating of the unit, we are going to deduct 2% and that amount will be reimbursed to the unit.
That's fantastic. Very nice. Excellent. So,
Thank you.
Mr. Modi, just a quick question. Are all your members aware of the schemes of SIDBI and TFCI? Are they, or maybe if I recommend that maybe HRAO can do a special session with TFCI and SIDBI for making your
Sir,
members
1
aware?
minute, we will be happy enough. We can organize a meeting of the hotel entrepreneurs.
Yes.
We will give a short PPT at a later date.
Yes.
We will be happy enough to present all our schemes, including the various incentives or subsidy schemes available from Government of India and Government of Odisha also.
Yes, very, very nice. Absolutely.
And I'd like to request all of you to share your email ID so that I may forward you all the schemes
Yes,
and
please,
related documents to you.
Please share
So
your
that you may
contact
get the
details.
benefit whatever the government of Odisha and government of India is providing to all of you.
I think it's a very
Thank
good
you.
opportunity. You have both TSCI and SIDBI right here for your greenfield capex expansion or any brownfield upgradation. Both of these institutions. Which
नॉट ओनली कैपेक्स सर, जनरली क्या होता है जब यूनिट लगाना होटल इंडस्ट्री में देखा जाता है, यूनिट मतलब होटल कंप्लीट होते होते 2 साल भी लग जाता है, 2 साल से ज़्यादा भी लग जाता है. तो इन द मीन टाइम जब रेवेन्यू स्ट्रक्चर उसका नहीं आता है तो एक हम बैंकिंग टर्म में बोलते हैं प्रिलिमिनरी एंड प्री ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंसेस. एक्सपेंस तो आप इनकर कर रहे हैं, बैंक का मीटर कब चालू होता है जब आप डिस्बर्समेंट अवेल कर लेते हैं, देन बैंक स्टार्ट चार्जिंग इट्स इंटरेस्ट पोर्शन. No doubt you may get moratorium on principal repayment, 1 year, 2 year and more than 2 year maybe, but interest meter starts the day you avail your disbursement portion. तो वो जब आपका रेवेन्यू नहीं रहता है तो वो इंटरेस्ट पोर्शन सर्व करना, कुछ एस्टेब्लिशमेंट रिलेटेड खर्चा जो है वो न्यू एंटरप्रेन्योर न्यू होटलियर को उसको मुश्किल में मतलब फाइनेंशियल टाइट लिक्विडिटी पोजीशन में डाल देता है. तो इन SIDBI we are also financing the preliminary and pre-operating expenses. It's a project cost.
And
that is a very good help to the entrepreneurs.
And this is, Mr. Jaina, this is exactly the point, as Shantanu has mentioned. Hoteliers here, when they would take a loan, as he rightly said, the moment you draw down, your interest payment starts immediately. And if the state doesn't have ease of doing business or quick permissions, your cost overruns start happening, and therefore the cost of the project goes up. And I think one of the biggest, and I'm very happy that one of your slides talked about, facilitation cell. So I think it's very important for all the entrepreneurs here that you can help reduce the cost of the project merely by enhancing the speed of approvals.
Yes.
I think HRAO suggested to change the policy of that land allotment and time period for completion of the project. It was really starting from the day of a PRC, Provisional Registration Certificate. The moment we issue that certificate, your day for the 3 years counted. But now we are reconsidering and thinking how can we give that benefit to our investors so that unless they get land or unless the land gets handed over, how can they start work or why should they go for kind of permission? So that is why we are thinking over that and examining, and I think we'll come up with a best kind of regulation there, so that it will be very helpful to all of you.
One more thing I would like to
That
add,
may
sir.
reduce 1 year or 1.5 years.
Absolutely. I think this is a very good step if it goes through.
Sir, in that case, I would like to one more thing, sir. If it is a government lease, so no other banks are providing finance on that land, provided the lease deed is executed. But in SIDBI, if you have agreement to sell, then also we are financing on that project. We will wait for 3 years to get the lease deed and deposited with SIDBI, but we will not restrict your finance. Immediately we will finance on the basis of agreement to lease, sir. In SIDBI only we are doing, sir.
This is very interesting.
I think
yes.
we need to know more about the Tourism Finance Corporation, how they go about financing hotels.
I think SIDBI does on a small frame, we does on a large frame. So we fund hotels up to 200 crores. So that is a debt size we look, from 10 crores to 200 crores. For our existing client, even for modernization, renovation, we can give a smaller loan. But generally, tourism, the hotel development is a long gestation industry. So basically for developing any hotel, you require 3 years of construction period. And then for stabilization, another 3 years. And then the hotel starts making money. So generally the tenure of our loan is 15 years door to door. from the day they obtain a loan from us till they repay. So it's a 15-year loan which we give for the hotel. And the installments are also staggered. So basically in the initial years, the repayment are low. And once the business stabilization, the installments increases. Moratorium is up to 2 years from the date of commencement of commercial operations. Now, recently Reserve Bank of India has come out with guidelines of additional provision to be put by institutions if there is a delay in commencement of commercial operations. And the delay happens because of the conventional construction technologies which are being used. So we are promoting now that hotels should use advanced technologies. So like real estate has already adopted various advanced construction technologies. I think that is the call which hotels should also use. More of structural steel construction, eco constructions, green constructions, which will enable them to complete the project in a timely manner so that this should not happen. So we have various schemes. Most of the institutions have schemes. We also fund based on leasehold land. We also do licensed land fundings if we have right of assignment in this license agreement. So whether it is freehold, leasehold, licensed or land, we take that for financing. And we do not look for any collateral securities. So the guarantees and the asset which is under development is our only security for the project. We have been funding this sector for last 36 years. And I can proudly say that out of 2 lakh star category hotel rooms, we have developed 55,000 star category rooms.
That's fantastic.
So that is our achievement. I think, Mohanty ji, this hotel was also done by us. We have been all across India. We have no limitations of any state. We are only looking on bankable projects.
Correct.
And my humble request to the central government as well as to state government is, let private sector handle it. They can handle it very well. The government has to only provide them infrastructure support. And if they can provide subsidies, nothing like that. But if they can rationalize taxes also, that will be a good boost for the tourism sector. So that's our way of doing business. So we are into it. We fund hotels and that is our main business. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll have one thing to say. Thank you to SIDBI and TFCI, both coming forward to finance in the hospitality, hotel industry sector. But today, the catch is who's going to provide the lowest rate of interest and highest repayment period. That's what the hotel industry requires.
I think for that you require a different set of bankers here.
So
Certainly not
we
SIDBI
both
and
need to
TFCI.
think on that line because banks have become very competitive. Banks are providing very good rate of interest. And earlier, people used to think of getting a foreign loan, getting a US dollar loan. Today, nobody is thinking in that line because banks have become very competitive and financing hotels. They are financing a repayment period up to 20 years. They can wait for 20 years. They are giving commitments. 3 years moratorium and 17 years repayment. So total 20 years banks are giving. So both SIDBI and TFCI need to think in that line if they are to be in the hospitality sector. Thank you.
Thank you, Jitendra. We now move to Vishal. Someone was asked once, who are your biggest heroes? And they said our biggest heroes are our businessmen who put up businesses, take the risk, employ, and therefore create growth. So, Kamath has been a legendary name. Vishal, very nice to have you here. You have heard both sides of the story. You have heard Mr. Jena talk about the plan that the government has, and it's a really ambitious plan, I must say, very impressive. You have heard the financing story, and obviously Chairman Mohanty has given the inputs. What is the real situation on the ground today? You know, we need to move forward to a desired state of hospitality. But from your experience of setting up hotel investments in the state and otherwise, where do you think Odisha stands today?
नमस्कार. मैं पहली बार जब ओडिशा आया था, that was in around 2005. I had come with my father. At that time I had, you mentioned heroes. This hall is full of heroes because each one, it doesn't matter what their size is.
Of course,
the struggle is the same.
Absolutely.
So respecting that amongst us. And जब मैं 2005 में आया था, तभी भी बहुत कुछ सुना. फिर 10, 15, आज पहुँचते पहुँचते 25. One thing I must tell you is that each time I have heard something, eventually it has happened. Okay. The good part or the great part, and why today we are able to have this phenomenal confluence of so many fantastic hoteliers, tour operators and others, is because जो भी जैसे जैसे कहा है, भले उसमें टाइम लगे, बाधाएं आए, पर वो हो जाता है. एंड आई थिंक उसमें हैरो जैसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस ने जेके मोहंती साहब के मतलब जो पैशन है, along with that many other people who have met, and it's not only owners, it is also the people who have helped the owners today. People like Mr. Talukdar, a professional who is a Bhishma Pita for many people, including for me. You know, ऐसे जो I think इनको एक तालियां दीजिए तालुकदार साहब के लिए. तो सिर्फ मालक ही नहीं, जो चालक भी हैं, इनका जो एक जोड़ी है, उसका मूल जो है, उसकी वजह से आज ओडिशा टूरिज्म हैज बीन एबल टू कम टू दिस वन पॉइंट. जीवन में रुकना ये सबसे बड़ी गलती है. तो हर टाइम बेटा आप नहीं चाहिए कुछ भी, आप जाइए प्लीज. जीवन में हर टाइम इंप्रूवमेंट करना ये तो लाइफ का असूल है. सो एवरी टाइम वॉट एवर वी आर सीइंग द इम्प्रूवमेंट्स. जब मैं पहले बार आया था और मैं चिल्का गया था, रंबा गया था, बहुत मेरे पिताजी के साथ, जो मेरे पिताजी को जानते हैं, डॉक्टर विठल कामत जी, वो मेरे से भी यंग है, मतलब एनर्जी वाइज, एज वाइज, विचार वाइज. तो उन्होंने सुबह सुबह 6 बजे उठ के ऐसे ऐसे जगह देखे मैंने जो शायद बहुत भुवनेश्वर के लोग ने भी देखे नहीं हो. और उस टाइम पे मैं गया था, रास्ता रोड वॉज वेरी पुअर, बट टुडे आई हैव बीन टू लिटरली फ्रॉम corner of Odisha, right from Talasari all the way down, from north to south. I have traveled myself by road, not even by air connectivity and other things, by road. And the road infrastructure has improved, because of which many other things have improved. What Anup ji said, Anup ji मेरे मित्र हैं, उनका कामत ग्रुप का भी उन्नति में बहुत योगदान है, जैसे सिडबी के भी हैं, बट सिडबी के बम्बई डिवीजन से हैं. ये जो लोग हैं, ये हमको सपोर्ट करके, तो वैसे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर जो सुधरा है, पावर जो सुधरा है, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सुधरा है. बाय द वे लेट मी टेल यू, मैं तो शर्म से और गर्व से दोनों बोलता हूँ कि बम्बई में सीखने जैसा चाहिए कि भुवनेश्वर में जाऊँ या बच्चा भी हेलमेट पहनता है. आई फील वेरी सैड दैट मुंबई सपोज बी अ मेट्रो, तो मेरे को शर्म लगती है, बट मेरे को गर्व भी होता है कि देखो ओडिशा में. सो व्हेन माय फ्रेंड्स कम हियर, दे आर थ्रिल्ड, दे आर हाँ यार सच में. सो व्हाट आई इम्प्रूव्ड, the people have improved, the people's vision has improved, the people's aspiration have improved. Where our era hotel used to be a very dirty area. Today it is extremely clean, it is extremely organized. That's why we are doing well, that's why hotels around have done well. और सबसे बहुत एक important चीज़ है कि जो पहले एकदम cheap tourism सोचता था, और ये मैं हमारे ओडिया भाई बहन के लिए बोल रहा हूँ, हम सब लोग तभी ना क्या सोचते थे कि हमको सिर्फ गरज पूरी करनी है. वो गलत विचार था. हमको गरज पूरी नहीं करनी है, हमको एस्पिरेशन पूरी करनी है. लोगों की एक्सपेक्टेशन क्या है, और वही मैं देखा हूँ गए 10 साल में. मेनी ऑफ द पीपल हु आर इन बजट हैव नाउ गॉन टू मिड मार्केट हैव गॉन टू अपर मिड मार्केट. एंड आई थिंक टेकिंग एडवांटेज ऑफ स्कीम्स लाइक व्हाट यू सेड. इनफैक्ट मैं स्टेज पे तो मैं खुद का भी मैं पूछ रहा था इनको, क्योंकि इतना बढ़िया उनका कुछ स्कीम्स है कि हाउ वी कैन इम्प्रूव आवर. सब लोग कोलैटरल मांगते हैं, सब लोग आपको कुछ गिरवी रखने बोलते हैं, बट उसमें थोड़ा हमको कभी कभी के टॉपअप चाहिए. तो स्कीम्स लाइक दिस आई थिंक विल डेफिनेटली हेल्प अस गिव अ बेटर क्वालिटी, which is when our better customer will come, which is when he will pay better. So I think the journey that we've seen, और जो जैसे जना साहब बोले, आज जना साहब बैठे हैं, इनके पहले बहुत सारे लोग बैठे, इनके बाद भी लोग बैठेंगे, मगर Odisha government has been consistent in its desire and in his growth. And that has been my last 20 years journey ka story.
Someday it will all change. I think it's a very optimistic statement, Vishal. Thank you very much. I think we are short of time, so even though I want to ask all of them a question, maybe just one line, starting with all of you, and I'll come to you last, Mr. Jenna. Sorry, you have a question? You want to take a question? We have time? No, I want to close off with you. Okay, does anyone have a question here? One question तो नहीं, आप decide करो किसने question लेना है? Mr. Talabdar. In the interest of time, maybe a quick one, please.
Sir, I am A. Talukdar, hospitality consultant and HRAO member. My question is for Mr. Bali. I will take the cue from Dr. Mohanty, that cryptic cue. Sir, give me 3 points. The edge of TFCI over conventional financial institutions, bank. For a private investor, why he will go to TFCI and not to banks?
Why people come to TFC and not to banks? I don't think so. People also go to banks. People also go to AIFs, investments funds for lending to hotels. I think the field has developed a lot and people choose institutions. Why we? Because we give them technical support during implementation. We have our own advisory team. We have connects with the hotel operators, hotel chains which are operating in India. We know the specifications of each and every hotel. And these are paramount in timely development and completion of a project without any major cost overrun. The biggest challenge today is in the hospitality development is cost and time overrun, which impacts the revenue generation and profitability of the projects. And then there are liquidity crises, debt crises. So because of that, also people come to us. So that is why I would do. But otherwise, people are free to choose any institution. Sure. It's a free economy. Everybody can choose any institution. Right? So we have our niche. Based on our niche, people come to us. There are other institutions based on which people go to them. That is my honest answer to your question.
Very good answer.
Thank you.
I think TFCI is probably the most unique institution in India. I don't think there's any other institution which does purely hospitality financing anywhere in the world. So I think that level of expertise that institutionally they have developed is phenomenal. One last question, please.
No, to add to that, yes. We also fund residential real estate. We also fund renewable power. We also fund manufacturing sector. We also fund other sectors. So we are open to all sectors, but definitely hospitality is our major sector of financing.
So I think
Thank you.
HRAO needs to have a specialized day-long technical session with SIDBI and TFCI to understand exactly what all they can offer and which can help you in your business. One last question, please. Sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Surya Parida. I Hotel Crystal Crown काम करची. मोर क्वेश्चन होची मिस्टर जेनांक पाई जेना सर मु 1984 मसीह होटल इंडस्ट्री अच्छी ओडिशा रे मो भलिया मु जानि बहुत मोर साथी थिबे जो माने भी ए 84 85 86 90 रु काम करके रिटायर प्राय हे कि बसी थिबे मो संगे रे आमे चाकरी कलु किंतु पैसा कमी परलुनी सो आम पाखे जमी नाही किंतु आम पाखे बहुत माने इच्छा अच्छी टैलेंट अच्छी एक्सपीरियंस अच्छी नॉलेज अच्छी विजडम अच्छी आमको आपण माने केमती यूज करि पारिबे सच ए टैलेंटेड पूल ऑफ वर्कर्स मैनेजर्स इन ओडिशा who are almost retired or reaching retirement age how can they be enabled to make or contribute to your hotel industry in Odisha and because they have a first hand knowledge of hoteliering they catch the people with their hands and make them work. So the way we make the people work and know how they'll work, the human behavior, their skills are very well known to the managers. So आमको केमती आपण यूटिलाइज करी करी आमको छोट छोट आमे बड़ बड़ 5 तारका कि 3 तारका होटल पे चाहनु ये होम स्टे भलिया भी आमको छोट छोट लैंड पार्सल किछि आपण जो देई परबे आई थिंक दिस old managers here can contribute a lot to give them a good hospitality.
Thank you,
Homely
sir.
hospitality. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Jena, do you want to?
Homestay, for homestay you need land, that kind of land. See, frankly speaking, we really want to support for big projects so that we can have quality accommodation facility. That doesn't mean ki we are not going for homestays. Homestay revised policy is also coming up. In the next 1 month, you will find another homestay policy.
I'll just intervene once, Janabu. आपण माने सूर्य परिडा जो कहूची आपण माने डिसीजन नेचंती municipal areas and you will auction land for hotels or homestays or whatever. They cannot buy. If you auction, the rich man will buy. But he is talking about technically qualified people who have got talent, knowledge.
So then that's a fine question. See, in Odisha we have a land policy. IDCO is really the nodal agency for allotment of lands for industrial and tourism projects that you all know. We have been following that. But the government took a considered decision, I think few years back, that there is a shortage of land so far as the development area and municipal corporation area is concerned. So if we follow the allotment route, there could be some issues. Let's introduce the policy of auction or bidding, only because of shortage of land. So if there is any issue you are apprehensive of a real estate businessman can take those lands, then certainly we have to think about that. But so far as the government had decided, I think it may not be wise for me to tell something on that.
I have something to say, Mr. Jana. This decision of the government to auction land in these urban areas, you see, as far as homestays is concerned, जो residential area अच्छी, से area रे आपनो, I think you need to revisit the tourism policy. I think government has to rethink, because today, why Odisha has the lowest number of rooms in the country compared to all other states? You see, land is a major problem. And जदि homestays, जदि आपनो residential areas urban area रे finance जमी दे परले, सेटा I think it will help, because एठी के तो जो tourist आसुचंदी समस्त कोटिपति तो नुह, middle class, lower middle class people are also coming as tourists. So तांको पे भी हमको किसी चिंता करिया पड़ियो. My appeal to the government is to rethink that urban areas, municipal areas, सबू हमते auction कर देले. Real entrepreneurs who are interested in the hospitality sector, semane पाइबेनी opportunity पाइबेनी.
I think HRAO has represented on many aspects of our policy decisions. So if there is another one you please represent, then let it be decided by the appropriate.
We present it before you to take it up with the, with the government.
Very nice. It's a very good suggestion. People who are actually technically sound. I think at one point I remember State B had a venture capital fund to support at some point technically sound entrepreneurs in their venture, but I don't know what form it is, but it's a very good suggestion. Can we just go for one line recommendation to the state of Odisha tourism? We'll start with you, Shantanu, just one line.
SIDBI is always with you, and I thank the Hotel and Resident Association of Odisha for giving me an opportunity to present the schemes and various details about financing avenues available to the entrepreneurs.
Thank you.
And I thank all of you.
Thank you, Shantanu. Vishal?
There is not much I can advise Jena Saab. We can give our representations. But what I would definitely like is, one is speed of delivery, because that is definitely something which is a big challenge. And secondly, also clarity in terms of, like example right now with Puri particularly, with Puri airport being announced, It's only announced. There is unfortunately nothing particular on ground which is as a paper. So if we have announcements coming which will help the growth, they should also, there is for the future, but they should not spoil or stop today's growth. So that is what I think some of the cases are there, which I hope the government will quickly act on and close these challenges also. Thank you.
Very good. We'll come to you last, Mr. Jina. Anu, one last.
I think TFC is always there for financing tourism across the state. Tourism will happen and financing will happen. We wish all of you all the best.
Thank you. Chairman Sir, any one last point of how they can better implement their vision that they have said? One takeaway from you.
One thing is, which Vishal has just said, speeding up the process of approvals. You see, hotel industry needs more than 20, 21 approvals after single window, which takes a lot of time. So speeding up that, making a policy where after single window, we don't have to go to 20 windows. Yeah. Second point is giving land at concessional rate in urban areas to the hospitality industry only. That will help in boosting the tourism sector. Thank you.
Mr. Jena, just before, so one point that has emerged is that while the delay is happening, there's a cost of funding which is also happening. So maybe two things that you can look at as part of your policies. Can you ensure that unencumbered land comes to the entrepreneur, so that they can hit, it's like a plug and play, they can hit the ground running. And second, as Sidbi was saying, could you do some kind of a subsidy scheme that while the project is to be put up and interest outflow is happening, maybe the state government can pick up that component which is happening because of a delay. Just a point for consideration, but what's the last takeaway from all of us? We have expressed our
So I must
sentiment.
tell something from my heart. Save these pillars, then they will help the government to take this tourism development to the next level. That's my only answer. Let us come forward and save these investors' pillars.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. You've been a lovely audience. A big clap for all our panelists. Odisha has a phenomenal vision to be a world-class destination. It can only happen with the private and the public government working together. Jai Hind, Namaste. Thank you.
Please, let's give a big round of applause for Ashish also. He has been doing a great job from morning. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Indeed, a very engaging discussion for the first technical session. We would, of course, like to take this opportunity to felicitate all our panelists with mementos. I'll request HRAO member Mr. Ashok Palit to please join on stage, and Mr. Ashish Palit, to join on stage and do the honors. हाँ मु भावुची टिके जोरदार करताली हे परिबो एनर्जी लेवल्स बहुत कमी जाउची आपण मानकर Joint Secretary Tourism Government of Odisha Shri Vinod Jena, thank you sir for your presence. We have Shri Vishal Vithal Kamath, Executive Director, Kamath Hotels India Limited. Thank you so much. Shri Anup Bali, CMD TFCI New Delhi. Shri Shantanu Kumar Nanda, AGM Sidbi Bhubaneswar. And of course, a big thank you to Shri Ashish Gupta, CEO Consulting Faith. Just not, he's been there with us from the inaugural session and moderating the session wonderfully. Thank you so much. We'll, of course, have a group photograph, but before that, we would also like to felicitate some of our valued partners for their support to the event. We'll request the panel here on stage to do the honors, and we would like to extend our gratitude to our partners TFCI and SIDBI. And I think the representatives are here on stage itself. We would like to request the other panel members to do the honors and also felicitate them for their support for the event. Without their... Acha, we'll have the we'll just have a uttariya as a way of felicitating them. And let's give a big round of applause for our partners also, because without their support, we won't be able to have conducted this event that successfully. Thank you so much. Again.
Friends, with a heavy heart, I wish to announce Piranath Behra, our company president, who was been with me for last 26 years, just passed away. So he was in the hospital after meeting an accident for last 4 days. Our doctors have just declared him dead. This is a sad news for me. I have to leave for the hospital, but please continue till the end. All the best to all of you.
I would request everyone...
we
yes.
can have 1 minute silence.
He was an
silent prayer
part.
for his soul to rest in peace. Thank you.
Yes. We would like to continue with our sessions. This is, though, a very sad news, but like they say, the show must go on. So we pray for the departed soul to rest in peace, and we'll continue with the next session. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our second session is on marketing Odisha as a most preferred destination. We would like to inform everyone here that we need to now stick to the time schedule because post-lunch there are another 3 sessions before the valedictory ceremony. So a humble request to all moderators to now stick to the time schedule. So marketing Odisha as the most preferred destination. The session will be chaired by Shri Ravi Gosai. We also heard him during the inaugural session, President Aito. Let's welcome our session chair, panelists and moderator on stage with a huge round of applause, and I'll take the opportunity to introduce them as they settle. So Shri Ravi Gosai, President Aito, New Delhi, session chair. Shri Vikram Chalur, Senior Vice President, GoMMT, Gurugram. Shri Devashish Patnaik, Member, HRAO. Shri Ashutosh Kaur, Associate Professor at the School of Management, KIT University, Bhubaneswar, and founder, Pure Odisha, and Shri Sanu Ratha, Satyabrata Ratha, founder, Prelude, who is going to moderate the session. So let's welcome all of them with a big round of applause from all of you. We already had the privilege of listening to Mr. Ravi Gosai in the inaugural session, brings about 26 years of profound experience to the travel and tourism sector. Mr. Vikram Chalur, Senior Vice President, Hotel Supply at Make My Trip, has been instrumental in building the hotel business over the past 15 years, has played a key role in scaling it over 1 lakh room nights a day, driving strategy, growth and partnership across India. Known for his sharp execution, deep industry insight, he leads a high-performing national team and is focused on delivering partner-first solution. I'll request people to please settle down. We have with us Shri Devashish Patnaik, celebrated entrepreneur, visionary business leader with over 4 decades of experience in the hospitality industry, startup ecosystem and cultural promotion, renowned for pioneering Odia cuisine nationally, founder of Dalma restaurant chain, the iconic Odia cuisine restaurant, established across India, including Bhubaneswar, Rourkela, Bengaluru, Puri, Kolkata and New Delhi. He's also the managing director of Hotel Crown, IHCL Selections, a premier 4-star business hotel, and founder of Bhubaneswar Angels. We also have with us Mr. Ashutosh Kaur, Associate Professor at the School of Management, KIT University, Bhubaneswar, founder Pure Odisha, one of Odisha's largest blogs about travel, culture, history, food, and Odia identity, with almost 250,000 followers on Instagram and 4 to 5 million views every month. Prior to becoming a professor and moving to Odisha, he had a fast-track corporate career, having worked with organizations such as TCS and IBM in various locations in India and abroad. And the session, ladies and gentlemen, will be moderated by Mr. Satyabrata Ratha, more popularly known as Sanu Ratha, TV presenter, first-generation entrepreneur. Amongst his many ventures, he started Odisha's first event company, Prelude, in 1996 at the age of just 21, which is now a national-level 360 communication agency. He's the founding editor of My City Links, co-founder of Boca Cafe, has already hosted more than 150 episodes of the travel show Explore Odisha on News 7. He is the present Vice President of TIE Bhubaneswar, one of the founder members of Katak Heritage Walk, and is also part of many social and cultural initiatives. Of course, as is the traditional practice, we would like to welcome the panel on stage with planters. Can I request Member HRAO, Mr. Rohit Tiwari, to join on stage and do the honors and present planters to all our esteemed panelists on dais. Before I, of course, request Mr. Satyabrata Ratha to take the session forward. Yes. So welcoming everyone on stage with planters, as is the traditional practice. All right, I'll now request Mr. Satyabrata Ratha to take this session forward. Thank you so much.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. It's really a privilege to be back here again. And obviously, marketing is such a big arena to talk about. I have somewhat kind of experience working in Odisha through events and, of course, traveling across the last 2-3 years. But it's indeed a privilege to have a panel which has so much insight about not only Odisha, we have Professor Kaura and Shri Debu Patnaik. And for the international, national perspective, we have Shri Ravi Gosain and Shri Vikram Chalur. So I think it's a mixed bag of perspectives which we'll share. But before I start off as a moderator, with whatever experience, and I can literally say a lot of on-ground experience of going to the interior and the remote parts of Odisha, staying in different kinds of places, I think we don't need to have a theme on the macro level of marketing, but our accent should be on the micro level of marketing, of course, in Odisha. Because we know, yes, we have 1,000 to 1,500 rooms now. We are looking forward to 15,000 rooms by 2036 or maybe before. But what do we do for Odisha in the next 4-5 months, in the next 1 year? Because it's very important for the travel and the hospitality industry. So I think if we can align our conversation on that what do we do now for tourism and for the industry itself? So one thought which I would like to put, when we are planning to put a backdrop here, our design was having a Royal Bengal tiger, an olive ridley turtle. But I have realized, and all of you realize, when you come to Odisha, you don't necessarily, in fact, you don't see a olive ridley turtle when you arrive, or you see a Royal Bengal tiger. So why don't we make it more micro and check out what actually we see and what is the kind of experience we really have with the challenges and the opportunities. So with that perspective, we'll start off with this session, and we'll, of course, ask all our presenters on stage to speak a few lines first to open up the conversation, and then we can go a little deeper on the marketing aspect for Odisha as the most preferred destination. Thank you. Check. So I would ask Shri Ravi Gosain, because obviously he has so much of international and national exposure, and you have been coming to Odisha for a few times, and you've seen Odisha with a perspective of somebody who has come from outside Odisha. So what do you think, for a person from the travel and hospitality industry, what amazes you about Odisha in the perspective of a tourist, and what do you think is lacking to connect to Odisha as a tourist or a tour operator or somebody who wants to start something in hospitality?
Thank you, Rathoji. You know, first of all, I want to say that Odisha is a unique destination. If you compare with other tourist destinations in India, other states, but unfortunately, the tourism products are not marketed well. This is what I said in my opening speech. You have a rich cultural heritage. You have Lord Jagannath's temple. You have a heritage. Rath Yatra is there, like you will have in 2 days. You have Odissi dance, world famous Odissi dance. And you have, if I'm not wrong, more than 500 kilometers of beach that could be promoted as a good destination. And then you have a unique tribal culture which can showcase to the world as a tourist activity without disturbing their peace. So there are lots of things to offer in Odisha, which I think if you compare with other states, one or other form, they have a very unique products. But in Odisha, I see that products are very different in altogether, and you can have these products for different kind of audience, target groups. So, for example, I was talking in my opening speech that there is a lot of things to showcase to the Buddhist tourists, for example. Similarly, if people want some peace of mind or relaxed holidays, they can go to Chilka or Gopalpur on sea. The only thing is, which is lacking about Odisha, is the products are not very well promoted abroad. It's very important that visibility you need to showcase, because India is a big country, first of all. So any tourist, foreign tourist which comes to India, he's taking India as one country, maybe he's taking one trip to India. So he will go and visit the most popular tourism products. So you are having a competition with the 28, 29 states in India. So what and how you can become your products visible, that you need to showcase your product to the decision makers, whether foreign tour operators or Indian tour operators taking your products to abroad. So this is one of the most important part, and Department of Tourism plays a very important role. I always tell, when I met Deputy CM 2 times, she also have tourism in charge. And I said that Odisha has to make a long-term plan. For if you are going to participate in any tourism fair, you have to have a long-term plan. Long-term, like 5 years, we will make a presentation or we'll have a stand in fair, and also take the stakeholders. Because without stakeholders, even the promotional activities will be useless. Because it's the stakeholders who will do business later on. So these kind of activities, if channelized properly, can result into success. There are lots of examples in India, like Madhya Pradesh was not well developed for tourism, but of lately in 20 years, they have been going to all international travel fairs and also for domestic market also. They are visible everywhere. So slowly, people start recognizing it as a tourism product, and if they want to see as a variation in their products, so they get something new. This is how I think tourism can be clubbed very easily with the neighboring state as well. And because remember one thing, when somebody comes to India, he doesn't goes to only one place. They come for 2 to 3 weeks, and the combination of itineraries with different state should be there. So this is only possible when you showcase your product, go outside, meet with the other state stakeholders, what they are offering, and work with them hand to hand. This is what is my opinion.
Absolutely. And I think Odisha has this unique USP, because I think even if you stay for a day or 2 days or 3 days, you can see so many diverse or experience such diverse tourist destinations, and that may be lacking in a lot of places across the country. So I think we should push the itinerary perspective, because whenever somebody calls me and asks me, I want to go to that place, how do I travel, which places, if I stay for 2 days, where do I eat? So that kind of, I think marketing, micro marketing is needed not only from the hospitality industry, even for the travel industry. They have to market the itineraries properly so that it's viable and it's also practical for a lot of people. For example, I don't know how many of you would know, then if you spend a day in Bhubaneswar, maybe you have a meeting, you have come for a business conference or whatever, you can go to a sanctuary in Bharatpur, which is just across the Utkal hospital. In 1.5 hours, you can see a wild boar, an elephant, a peacock right next door. You don't have to go to Simlipal. In fact, if you go to Simlipal, you may not see much also. So the kind of myths and travel situations we have, you stay in Bhubaneswar, you can go to 2 museums, lovely museums, the Tribal Museum, which offers a unique perspective about the tribal community in Odisha, and the Kalabhumi Museum, which talks about textiles, handicrafts in a very beautiful way. So I think we are missing an opportunity of selling the micro destinations in the proper, you're staying in a day, in Bhubaneswar, there are amazing things, people can go back with memories. Otherwise, people say, okay, you go to Puri itself and come back. Doesn't have to be always like that. So my next question would be to Mr. Vikram Chalu. Since you have been in the travel industry and you've seen so many different destinations and been part of itineraries, if you take one itinerary in Odisha, maybe as a person from the travel industry or as a tourist, how would you think the government, the tourism department, the travel association, the hotel association, they can get together to create amazing itineraries which work and can be marketed well also?
Got it. So first of all, thank you for having me here. I think it's a privilege to be here on this dais, sharing the stage with many people. I know Mr. Monte had to leave for a very sad occasion, but I think putting it together here for over 6 years is amazing. And I think bringing people together like the way you do is the way to kind of really come together as an industry. And then that's when the magic happens. So one of the things that I wanted to point out when I was thinking about it, and I had a little presentation, I don't know if we'll have the time to kind of put it up right now, but I don't think it's about itineraries anymore. I think it's not about what is seen, but what is felt. And if you're able to tell that story very beautifully through emotions, that's what it sells. Because customers today or guests today or travelers today, whether it is domestic or international or inbound, are looking for experiences and not necessarily looking for a list of attractions per se. I think he called it out. There's 480 kilometers of coastline here, the beautiful Konark Temple, Asia's largest lagoon in Chilka Lake. All of these are stories that can, instead of calling out an itinerary, can we craft a journey of a pilgrim in Puri? Can we talk about the sunrise or the sunset in the Chilka Lake? And can we talk about the Eastern Ghats? And I think that's what will make people want to come here and experience the local culture. And it's not just about the culture or experiences today, but also about food. And I think Odia food is very, very understated today. I can easily start a debate here on the Rasagulla. I'm sure everybody will have their opinions on where it originated. But I think there's much more beyond that that we can offer to the rest of the country to bring them here. And with connectivity and with curated experiences, I think this can be a great recipe for the discerning Indian traveler who post-COVID, I would say, and I think that's a trend that we are noticing at Make My Trip at least, is that people, rather than just taking one or two big holidays in the year, are very fond of taking short breaks. Now, an average traveler who would take one large sort of a trip during the year and then would probably take a small trip or a weekend getaway is now breaking that into more than 6 small journeys. And we can see that in the traveler trends. And I think each time you're traveling out, and if a person's actually taking 6 trips a year and short breaks a year, you can't keep going back to the same Goa or the same Kerala. You need newer places that you need to experience. And I think by way of telling that story in a way that you feel it rather than just see it will probably unlock the magic.
Thank you so much. Yes, of course, destinations and the kind of activities, preferred destinations are very, very important. But a lot of challenges, not only in India, but also Odisha, about the climate. So how do you work around the humidity, the rains, the inclement weather? So one challenge which I thought with a bit of lateral thinking, and I asked Debu Bhai about, I don't know, obviously Odias would know here, people from Odisha would know here. We all wait for the Ratha Jatra to happen and everybody converges during that time. But 10-12 days before Ratha Jatra, Prabhu Jagannath, you are not allowed to see him because there's a tradition. But very few people would know that can be an opportunity because near Puri, there is a temple, Alarnath Mandir, where you can go and visit. It's according to tradition, you can go and visit Jagannath there. So the challenge itself can be turned into an opportunity because it's in Brahmagiri, and Brahmagiri offers a lot of other amazing destinations, proximity to Chilika, Satpada, and stuff like that. So what could be the challenges we have? Coming to Debu Bhai, and he knows of the challenges and the opportunities as from the hotel industry. What would you think that, how would you market Odisha during the so-called non-tourism seasons? So everybody looks at that November, February window. How would we think we can do that better? Because that's very, very important for the hotel and travel industry.
Thank you so much, Sanu, for the question. Yes, we have to find ways to market during the dull season that you are talking about, the off-peak season that you are talking about. But are we marketing in the peak seasons also? There are so many here who have been in this industry for such a long time. Allow me to say this, that we have not been able to communicate, communicate in the sense we have not been able to market ourselves with our target audience. We have failed miserably to connect with the travelers, tourists till date. because we don't, you know, when we started, when, let's say, the most success story, biggest success story in Indian tourism is Kerala. Now, Kerala has been marketing its God's own country for ages. I think for 4 decades. For the last 4 decades. But same tagline, God's own country. Have we done anything like that? No. We have not been able to market ourselves at all beyond the boundaries of Odisha. You know, if somebody comes, like Vikramji said, or Raviji said that, you know, Odisha has everything. Yes, we know Odisha has everything, but 29 other states do also have. We have to compete and present ourselves before that. Are we doing that? No. Now coming back to your question, Sanu, about marketing during the dull seasons. Sorry. You know, this thing, Jagannath's Anasara Ghara, that 12 days or 13 days, that is itself a story which can be told. That here is a living God who also falls sick for 15 days in a year. So he is not provided, you know, the regular food. He is given medicines and he is given, he is kept aside. He is in, what do you call that? COVID time, what we used to call? In isolation. So he is in isolation. So that's the right word. So these are things which we need to take beyond Odisha, which we have not been doing, but we can do it. We can do it and we should do it. It's high time we should start doing it. Thank you.
Can I add a point? Sure. I think we talk about the weather quite a bit, but I'll tell you, I'm come from Delhi. The temperature is 43 degrees there. The weather outside is very beautiful and lovely. And yesterday it was drizzling and it was so beautiful to stand outside and soak in the breeze. The weather is only for people who want to go take a dip in the beach, right? And because it becomes very hot during the summer. But if you're able to tailor curated experiences, now if you're going to talk about cuisine here, and let's say you're going to talk about a birder who wants to come to the Chilka Lake and, you know, look at the birds migrating, I don't think it is seasonal. If you're able to weave a story about, you know, something about Buddhism and attract the Buddhists from Southeast Asia, I don't think weather matters at all. So weather is largely for leisure travel. And in most parts of the country, I think it's much hotter than here. So people wouldn't mind taking a trip down here and then even, you know, not everybody wants to take that dip in the ocean, but everybody wants to come and take some pictures maybe. And the new generation today needs Instagrammable spots. And they want a soulful journey stitched together, which is not just spiritual. And if you're able to do that, I don't think weather stands in the way of it. It's about the way you market it rather than the way you talk about it. And it's most of the times we get lost in it. But today, if you look at Goa, for example, I think domestic travelers, I don't think there is anything called season and an off season. Kerala has figured out a way. I think he was calling it out. There are mountains too. And mountains are very pleasant at this point in time to go. And when you come to the mountain, and if you're traveling from somewhere up north, you're not going to just say that I'll go to Munnar and I'll go to Tikri and go back home. But because you've flown all the way there and paid 30,000 rupees for that return ticket, you will make that trip to Alleppey and Kumarkom as well. And I think that's typically what can happen. And this is one of the things, and maybe one beautiful example I'll call out. Mysore in Karnataka is probably, you know, gets pretty hot during the summer, but it does best during the summer because it's a feeder market to Ooty and Kodaikanal. And people stop by. And it works according to Ooty and Kodaikanal season. It doesn't work on its own season, which is the best time to visit there is probably October to December during Durga Puja or after that, because there's also festivities there. But I think weather is an overstated thing. We can create experiences much beyond that as well.
Thank you so much. Yes, obviously we have to work around the weather and see what works for the tourist also, because like you said about the Buddhist circuit, I'm sure Professor Kaura also has visited places, because sometimes the India's best kept kept secret tagline also works because you need to unravel the secrets. There's a place called Ayodhya in Balesur, which is now very famous because the amazing archaeological findings they've got. There's a temple there which has a deity which is supposed to be Dalai Lama's presiding deity. Somebody told me there when I visited, can somebody tell the Dalai Lama that she is here, maybe she'll come, and I said it will work wonders for the tourism industry. So unraveling these secrets inside secrets is also very important, like a story which is created. But stories obviously have a background of myths, which also works. So coming to Professor Kaura, and he's visited all of Odisha, and the way he presents online, he's an ambassador of Odisha, the way he does it, it's so beautifully done. So he would also obviously have a perspective about the online and offline marketing and branding, that can we change the narrative a bit? And like Debubhai said, where is the narrative? So I think there has to be a blend of the macro narrative and also the micro narrative, and it has to work parallelly. So your perspective on this.
Thank you so much. Very good afternoon to all of you. Thank you so much for giving the opportunity. I think I'm a professor by the day, by the weekday, and by the weekends I'm a traveler, traveling throughout the state, and trying in my humble way to document the entire state, its culture, the food and everything. So I run this page called Pure Odisha, one of the largest in Odisha right now. We reach about 5 million people every month. So to Sanu's question, before even you talk about branding and marketing Odisha, take a step back. Unless you protect what you have, how do you brand it? How do you market it? So I'll just ask, I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you a show of hands. How many of you have heard of the place called Sitabinji? Have you heard of a place called Sitabinji? Anybody? Gulmi? Gulmi. Anybody who heard of the place called Gulmi? No, almost no. So I was just checking out, the reference website of Gujarat Tourism and Kerala Tourism. They do a fantastic job in marketing themselves. And I was checking out Odisha Tourism website. So in a golden triangle, itinerary where you have Konark and Puri and Bhubaneswar, you have this Gulmi waterfall on Odisha Tourism website. Now, Gulmi waterfall is nowhere close to golden triangle. Gulmi is right there in the edge of Odisha, between Chhattisgarh and Koraput. Yeah? It's a wonderful place where if you see the rock formations, they look like machine cut. You will have lines on the rocks, wonderful looking. It's on the bank of Saberi River, the same river that divides Odisha and Chhattisgarh, and the same river on the bank of which you have Gupteshwar, a wonderful place where a shivling is said to grow in size, and it has Mahabharata, legends associated with Mahabharata. Now, there is a place in Koraput called Subai. It's a village. If you, I think, go towards Nandapur, it comes on the way. Subai has a cluster of Jain temples. I don't know how many of you know about it. Absolutely nobody to protect that place. It's just open to everyone, and I have heard reports that idols, extremely important and vital relics of Odisha have been stolen from that place. Subai Jain Temple. Sitabinji in Keonjhar I asked about. Sitabinji is a place where you will see fresco paintings on rocks which date millions of years. One of the oldest rocks in the world, huge rock formations, you will see in Sitabinji, Keonjhar. Nobody to protect it. Not a single soul in sight. Yeah? No boundaries, nothing. You'll also have rock edicts. So you'll have Prakrit scripts written on those stones, which are like lying there, just like that, wasting themselves. Yeah? So I think before you talk about marketing, it's a PPP model. So first you protect, first P. Second P is you promote. So you tell people what these destinations are. And third P is provide. What is provide? When people actually come to you, the experiences you give them, right from sanitation to infrastructure to roads to hotel rooms and everything else. So protect, promote and provide. And we are still failing at the protect stage. Coming to promoting, right? So we have, I think, a wonderful job has been done by hoteliers, tour traveler promoters, people who do so much to bring tourists to Odisha, inbound tourists, and help Odisha tourists go outside, which is outbound tourists. I think, but what is lacking right now in Odisha, of course, beyond hotel rooms, and we talked about hotel rooms being not there in Odisha, overnight stay not being there, what's also lacking is a very good quality aggregator where all these tour operators can be accessed at one place. Ideally, the Odisha Tourism website should be the one where all these itineraries, tour options are aggregated so that people come to know about all this at one place. But what I felt going through the site and to the pages is that's not happening. So when we talk about, let's say, Odisha has wonderful culinary experiences. So we have Rasgulla, we have all the stuff, Podopitha and whatnot, and different places, Kakra in one place, and Mangsambudi in Baripada and all that. We stop there. We do not tell our visitors or tourists, how do you get it? Where do you get it? How do you travel? Where do you get? What's the best place? So we do not provide enough information for somebody to really experience. We don't say Rasgulla is there in Pahalo. We don't say that. We say Rasgulla, that's it. Tell them that there's a Pahalo is a place between Cuttack and Bhubaneswar, so many kilometers away from Bhubaneswar. Just tell them, right? Put a map so that one can go and explore. So that's not happening. So there are plenty of stuff. I can go on and on things that is not happening really. But somebody talked about Odisha's festivals. So I just one more point, and I'll give the mic back to you. Right now, in 2 days' time, we have the greatest brand of Odisha showing himself, the Lord Jagannath. Right? It is probably he is the greatest brand ambassador of Odisha, the greatest brand of Odisha, and we do not have our website updated on that event. There is nothing. If you go to Kerala website, they have a list of next 5 events, and how do you go to these events? What do you experience in these events? What to expect, where to stay, and all that. And we have Rath Yatra coming up in 2 days. Nothing. No mention. Because it is not being updated. So plenty of stuff to do.
So Professor Karo, since we will again come back to you, taking a cue from our brand ambassador, Prabhu Jagannath, we need to also connect with the temples across the state, and that connects also to our royal heritage. आपने जानिथिबे जे सबु जोठी पैलेसेस अच्छी सेठी प्रभु जगन्नाथ कर मंदिर भी अच्छी से खलिकोट हो बड़म्बा हो नीलगिरी हो that itself can be such a mix of royal heritage and your religious. So I think we need to rework on the way we also why I'm going on connecting with the micro thing, that the micro itself will connect the dots for the macro. If people want to visit 5 heritage spaces or have a mixed match of a beach, a palace and a temple, there are variations available in every region. If you want to visit, Ganjam is, as you know, is one of the, it has performing arts, it has heritage, it has everything. So even we can sell region-wise, if that makes it more convenient for travelers. The other thing which I would like to again come back to Shri Rabi Gosain, we have been, I mean, there's a lot of travel jargon like homestays. I personally would like to know, because I've been visited so many villages which I would think they have artisans there, maybe a homestay would work there. Is a homestay a place where you stay in somebody's home, or is a home created where you can stay? So we need to have a real perspective about that. I think the homestay brand has become a little more bigger than what it actually was.
It's an interesting question. You know, homestay is always considered as a stay with the people, with the family. But of lately, what happened is when this concept grows, people have started making guest houses and calling it as a homestay. That kills the purpose, whole purpose of homestay. See, nowadays, traveler wants experiential journeys. So they want to experience the lifestyle of people also. We have lots of tourists, not only Indians, but from outside also. They want to stay with a family to understand the livelihood, and they want to experience overall food, culture, everything actually, the lifestyle. So I think homestay should be originally in the actual home, you keep one room as a homestay.
I think we have taken now a wider connotation where the family can stay together, cook and stay like a family. So I think homestay is not about always about staying in somebody's home and being part of it, though it can be a mix and match. Because branding again becomes very important if you understand what we are selling, and homestays are important.
So this is what I was saying to everyone since morning, that target audience is very important. What product is good, like one product could be good for me but not for you. So it's very important to have a target audience. If I say homestay, I cannot promote homestay for every tourist. People want to stay in luxury hotels, they want to stay in camps, or they want to stay in cruise, for example. So target audience is very important when it comes to marketing.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't sell everything to everybody. If you have a select group of people who keep on coming or telling their family and friends, that itself makes a lot of sense. If they have had a good experience when they come, that's the most important part. Chalu, I would like to ask you one perspective about homestays. When we are also promoting big hotels, we are promoting 5-star, 7-star hotels. There could be a problem here because they sell with packages. Somebody spends a lot of money. For 2-3 days, you give them breakfast, lunch, dinner, and since they spend so much money, they wouldn't want to move out of the hotel for whatever reason. So how do you balance that also, the travel? Because keeping of course, if they want to stay in a hotel for 2-3 days, how can we create a balance that they also associate with other spaces, whether it's eateries or other spaces? So people actually travel, because I think that is a big challenge. When people go to big hotels and spend a lot of money, they don't, either because of the monetary reasons, they don't want to move out, or they're not given that perspective that you also go and see places, have dinner or lunch somewhere else, because they've already spent the money with a breakfast, lunch and dinner package with 12 chefs catering to you.
No, I don't think so. I think that's a very small part of the business. We see that very closely at Make My Trip. People who actually come, stay in a hotel, pretty much stay there for 3 nights, utilize the services of the hotel, eat there, dine in, etc. It's a very small portion of the business actually. If you ask most travelers today, I think, one part of it, I think in the whole ecosystem, we are ignoring one of the big reasons why people travel, that is for business. Maybe we're not talking about it today, but if you're able to create avenues like this where people can come together and multiple events through the year, and again, that's not seasonal, it will bring in a lot of travelers, not for leisure, but for business. But even when it comes to pure leisure, I think experiencing local cuisine is actually becoming more and more relevant, right? So you don't want to have that multi-cuisine restaurant which serves you Italian dishes in Bhubaneswar, but you want people to give you that authentic thali, and that's what people are seeking out today. And if the hotel is able to offer that to you, then customers are more than happy staying there at the hotel and experiencing it. Otherwise, they just step out of the hotel, go to a nearby joint and experience the same thing at maybe the similar or and price I don't think is the problem today. I don't think affordability is the challenge in India. It's about value. And if you're able to create that value, I think people are more than happy spending.
Thank you so much. Mr. Debu Patnaik, since you've seen the hotel industry for so many years and you've been part of branding Odia cuisine in a big way, like no one has done. I mean, you have this whole legacy of doing it, so you tried and tested that part of it. Cuisine for Odias is a lifestyle. I mean, we all love the comfort food of pokhado and chena podo and stuff like that. Would you think that there is something lacking in the cuisine where the branding and the way you market it is very important? Because I would believe as an Odia that sometimes maybe a South, and I have friends in Cuttack and Bhubaneswar who are always talking about these Bengali restaurants. It's very ironical. Chenna podo bisare mein badabadi hochu, but we all want to go to that best Bengali restaurant because I think they marketed or the cuisine is well plated. So do you think marketing and the way we present our cuisine is also, and you have been trying so much to market Odia cuisine internationally?
See, you are asking a good question to a wrong person, because being what all that I have done for little bit that I could do for the Odia cuisine, I would always say it is the best cuisine. And it is. Unfortunately, I might sound repetitive, but unfortunately, we have not been able to communicate and present our case across the country and taken it beyond that. Today, Odia cuisine is probably talked everywhere because bigger chefs like Ranveer Brar, Vikash Khanna, they are talking about Odia cuisine. You know, your Dahiwala Aludam is today gone beyond the limits of India, thanks to Vikash Khanna. So, Chef Vikas Khanna or Ranveer Brar, they are the brand ambassadors for your cuisine. That is why your cuisine is becoming popular. But it is too early for that. You don't compare it with Bengal cuisine or for that matter South Indian cuisine. Because they have been there for ages. People didn't know, they will have not heard about your Odia cuisine till probably last 10, 15 years. We have never bothered to take it. We just fought for Rasgulla, that's it. We have not fought. We are not promoting Chenapodo. We are not promoting other dishes of ours. So we need to take it forward. We need to market ourselves. We need to communicate. As Vikramji said that you have a target audience. Now for food, everyone is a target audience. You have to reach out to all the 1.5 billion people of Odisha, India. Or possibly take it beyond the boundaries of India to other countries. That we have not been done. You would be surprised to know that we have state institutes, hotel management institutes, where there is no course on Odia cuisine, which has just started. I think principal of IHM is somewhere here. She, thanks to her and thanks to tourism department, it has just started. In this month, 12 or 13 trained chefs, first time ever trained chefs in Odia cuisine have come in. So it will take some time, sir. Give us that time and give us that promotion.
I can eat
Dahiwala
3 times a day. I don't know how many people across the world can do that. So maybe we have to lower the spices. Sometimes I have the star rating. So to wrap it up, because we don't have much time, Professor Kara, how much do you rate local stakeholders for branding? You know, you visited so many places. I've also had this experience. There are young people being part of the heritage circuit, or somebody's opened a shop there, or a hotel, or a dhaba, or whatever. Do you think they can also and should play a role in marketing their places in, I mean, it should be a top-down approach first, but the bottom of the pyramid also should feel, I mean, they should feel enabled and empowered that, okay, we are marketing our own place. How can that be done? Because we have the online tool, which is so important now.
I think that's a great question. Thanks to social media, I think the possibilities are limitless. Right? Almost anyone with the ability to create high quality content has the potential to reach millions of people. Simple. It was not possible earlier, but if you are a good content creator, if you can create, if you exactly understand what today's online customers consume online, you can keep your brand in front of millions of people. Many have done that successfully, and it will continue to be done by many other entrepreneurs. I think the question is to understand today's online generation, how do they consume content, what are they looking for, and these content consumption, factors, the factors and trends keep on changing, right? For example, there was a time when people consumed a lot of content which is short in duration with music. Today, a lot of insightful content with voiceover is being, Instagram itself tells you that create content with voiceover, with insights, with the detailed information, people will love it. So that keeps on changing because the generation's attention span is less, their preferences keep on shifting. So I think as long as you understand what kind of digital content is being consumed, you will be able to put your brand in front of a lot of people.
Yeah, since we need to wind up, just one I mean, it's not a competition. If you can all get together by evening and find out what keywords, if somebody is sitting in Washington, D.C. and wants to travel somewhere in the world, what keywords would they type and come to Odisha? Online at least, and then they can think of Odisha. We should actually think about that, because that is not only a generic thing, it is also very focused. What, if you put beach, cuisine, what keywords match up to get you to Odisha? And then of course, once you know about it, how do you get here is another marketing perspective. So I would request Diksha to do the wrapping up, literally.
Thank you so much. Can we have a big round of applause? What an interesting discussion this was. Of course, we would like to felicitate all our panelists with mementos. I'll request Shri Tarini Mohanty, HRAO member, to do the honors, come on stage and do the honors. And once again, I'll request, after this, of course, we'll have the lunch break, but we'll be starting exactly at 2:30. I know I'm insisting on this a little more, but this is very important because we have a valedictory ceremony with His Excellency coming in, and we have to stick to the time schedule. So that is, I'll once again request moderators for the post-lunch sessions, please stick to the time schedule. Thank you so much. Mr. Ravi Gosai, thank you so much for being a part of the inaugural ceremony and this wonderful discussion now. Mr. Vikram Chur, a big round of applause. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Shri Debashish Patnaik, Debu Bhai, as lovingly called by everybody within the sector. Mr. Ashutosh Kaur. And of course, one for Mr. Satyavrata Ratha for wonderfully moderating this session and making it so interesting and lively. And a group photograph. Thank you so much. Thank you, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, just to inform, the lunch has been organized in the first floor bowling alley. So I request everybody to quickly move towards first floor for your lunch and be back latest by 2:30 p.m. so that we can start our post-lunch sessions. We have 3 sessions before the valedictory ceremony. So it's important that we start on time. I'll request all members to ensure that they're not wasting much time completing their lunch and coming back quickly.